Welcome back. Many millennials are now becoming what's called a gig economy, meaning they are independent workers paid by a certain task or project as opposed to traditional employers who receive a salary. So the FSCJ is hosting a business speaker series to talk more about this trend and how it's impacting the workplace. Joining me now is the event speaker, Candace Moody. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And the gig economy is not just something impacting millennials.
No, because I'm not a millennial. I'm a baby boomer, and I'm a perfect example of a gig worker. I've been a gig worker for the last 15 years. I have 3 gigs, and only one of which is my full-time job. So gig workers span the generations.
And this is a new term to me. Explain to our viewers, what is a gig worker?
A gig worker can be anyone who has a second job, part-time evening gig. They're contractors, they're consultants, they go by a myriad of names. A lot of people know now Uber drivers and Shipt shoppers are gig workers, but it spans the range of services and work.
And how is this really changing the workplace nowadays?
Well, I think the gig economy is growing faster than jobs are growing. There are more gig workers, and there are some estimates that say about half of the workforce will do gig work eventually in their careers. Companies are finding that it's much easier to hire a specialist, an expert, for a short time for a specific project, and then let them go, and they then don't have to take on the burden of full-time employment. And a lot of workers really prefer it too.
And kind of piggybacking off of that, then what are the advantages for these workers who do decide to be a gig worker?
Well, control, flexibility, autonomy. There are people who have parts of their lives that just make it hard for them to show up for work every day in a full-time job. Maybe they have a medical condition, maybe they're caring for family members, maybe they just want to work around a great lifestyle where they travel for a couple of months a year. So it's easier, and it gives them more control to go and control their own income streams rather than having an employer give them work.
And for a lot of people, sometimes the idea of a gig worker can be a little bit of a scary thought of taking that leap of faith to kind of balance a few of these jobs. What do you say to people who are interested in considering that option?
Well, I think everybody needs 3 jobs. You need a job that pays the bills, and that can be just about anything. You need a job that builds your skills, that kind of pivots you toward a new, higher level of skill, and a job that gives you chills. And only one of those has to be paid. So you can take on gig work to kind of make a transition to a new career. You could be a volunteer or offer your services as a contractor. But there is no place to hide in the gig economy. You have to be good at what you do. Nobody wants just an average writer or programmer. So you have to be good.
And there is an event coming up in the next few weeks. Tell us a little bit about that for people who may be interested.
I'm really excited to be the first speaker of FSCJ's Business Speaker Series on January 30th. So the event is from 9 to 10:30 on the South Campus at the Wilson Center for the Arts. Our sponsor is First Florida Credit Union, which means free breakfast for attendees. And actually the event is free and open to the public, but you do have to register because we're planning on filling the room with a future gig workforce.
And what can people expect real quickly if they do attend that?
Well, I'm going to teach them why their next job probably won't be a job and why they should be glad about that, and how to get ready for the gig economy, how to get it started and figure out what you want to do and how to do it.
Candace, thank you so much for joining us this morning. All very good information to know. Again, the Business Speaker Series will be Thursday, January 30th from 9 to 10:30 a.m. We have all of this information posted on our website, news4jax.com.